Of all the new Epiphone Inspired by Gibson Custom reissues, this is the one that I personally want the most. This is the Les Paul Special Double Cut. It is insanely cool. It sounds great, it plays great. I'm gonna show you a full demo here on Play and Trade Guitars. Hey everybody, it's John. And before I show you that full performance demo, I'm also gonna pull it apart on the bench and show you bench specs. I'll give you my honest review after I play it. And we'll talk about some great alternatives if you're looking for something similar, but I don't think you need to look much further than the $999 Les Paul Special Double Cut, and I'll tell you why I love this guitar so much. All right, let's get started. And one more thing, if you're buying any gear, click to buy new gear using my link. You'll find that pinned in the comments, down below in the description, or if you're watching on a TV, just scan this QR code and you can shop on your smartphone. All right, let me tell you what makes the Les Paul Special Double Cut so awesome. First of all, it's nice and lightweight. This guitar is a double cut Les Paul that is 7.5 pounds. Second of all, you've got to have a guitar with P90 pickups, and these are Gibson USA pickups, a fantastic value, and the single coil sound of Gibson P90s is unlike anything else. It's aggressive, but it's also sweet. You get a blanket of warmth in neck position and a biting attack with a singing quality voice in bridge position. And I'll tell you what, if you're considering a guitar like an SG, this was kind of the precursor to an SG. In 1958, Gibson introduced the Les Paul Special Double Cut. And this team up between Epiphone and the Gibson Custom Shop really shows attention to details. Kluson style strip tuner, so I think that's a really nice touch. We have a slim neck. First fret is at 0.81 inches. Up to 0.89 inches at the 12th. These P90s read 7.7 in bridge and 7.6 in neck. Just remember with the Les Paul Special, you have a wraparound tailpiece, 500K CTS pots, all hand wired, and you have these bumblebee caps, all very nice under the hood. And I love an understated rock guitar. And here's what's so cool. You have a beautiful true rosewood board with these mother of pearl dot inlays. And I love the understated approach of the dots and the simple controls. Look at this. Two P90s. If you're gonna get a guitar with P90s, I recommend that you get a guitar with two P90s. It's just more versatile. It's a thin slab of mahogany. This is 1.75 inches thick, and it's nice and lightweight, like I told you. And I guess all that's left to do is plug it in and play it and show you why this guitar is so awesome. Man, it sounds fantastic. I'll remind you one more time, if you're buying gear, click to buy gear using my link. You're gonna get fast free shipping and easy payment plans, and you help me make these videos on Play and Trade guitars when you buy using my link, so thank you. And one more thing, we're giving away a Les Paul. This Les Paul over my shoulder is going to one of you when we hit 100,000 subscribers. Just make sure you subscribe so you're in it to win it. Let's plug this in now. Check out these performances. I'll see you on the other side for my honest review. what did you think? Drop a comment. I'm gonna let you in on something real now, okay? If I could only buy one guitar from this series, it's gotta be this one, and I'll tell you why. I also really adored the 335 in this series. You can watch that review on Play and Trade Guitars. Okay, the 335 was awesome, but for me, when I'm playing on stage, the 335 does, to me, feel a little bit big to me personally. If I'm gonna have a guitar on stage, I want something comfortable to play that just sings and has a resonant voice to it. It's much the reason I like SGs, and actually this guitar kind of checks all those boxes. Just simple slab mahogany, which I almost like even more than the fancy Florentine thing. I don't know why. Just, again, understated rock machine, lightweight. The P90s absolutely rip. So I guess from the collection so far, this is the one that costs the least and I'm most excited about. It's probably, honestly, my favorite Les Paul if you want to lump it in with the Les Pauls. I really dug that 57 Gold Top too. But this is just an all-around winner. Okay, from a playability standpoint, you had a slim neck at 0.81, and it just makes it very comfortable. The shape of the neck itself is great. The one playability thing, I wish that the fret wire was a little bit taller, but this is vintage correct fret wire, so it is a little bit lower. Now, I want to run down some options for you that I think are good comparisons, and yes, I am sold on this guitar, but there's a few other things you should definitely consider, so let's check those out now. So this guitar is currently offered in TV yellow. I've heard in Europe there's an exclusive, I think a Pelham blue, so you can drop a comment if that's true. I hope they bring that to the States, because I'd love to see this in Pelham blue. But the TV yellow is super cool. It's the lowest price guitar in this new series, so very impressive. I would absolutely endorse this guitar and just say, yes, go buy it. Now, Epiphone makes another Les Paul special at only $499. So if you're really on a budget, I've reviewed this guitar too, and I love this one too. At $499, you know, you're not gonna get Gibson USA pickups or the headstock, you're not gonna get rosewood, you're not gonna get a hard shell case, but for under 500 bucks, I've at least gotta point out that if you need a Les Paul special or a guitar with two P90s, here's a way to do it under 500 bucks. Between the two, I'm definitely gonna steer you towards the new 1960 Les Paul special double cut. There's also, here's kind of something to think about, all right? It's $1,000 for the new 1960 double cut. The Gibson SG Special is one of my all-time favorite production guitars from Gibson USA, and it's at $1599 with a hard shell case. I know this is an SG, but the playing experience of an SG and a double cut Les Paul Special are somewhat similar. Like I said, it was the pre-runner. So I'm just pointing out that at $1599, I think that the Gibson SG Special is priced really well to at least think about it. If you have the ability to go a little higher in price, you can get a true Gibson USA SG Special. Of course, they also have, for a couple $100 more, the Les Paul Special and a few other colors as well. TV yellow, vintage cherry, ebony. And here, again, you're gonna have a true Made in America Gibson USA guitar at $1599 for the SG, $1799 for the Les Paul Special. But I at least gotta point it out, because it's not so far out of the neighborhood that it's not worth mentioning. And so those are the Gibson comparisons. The last thing I wanna tell you, this 1964 SG in the series, if you're looking for something SG-esque, and you were between the 1964 SG in this series with the Maestro Vibrola and the Les Paul Special Double Cut, I am absolutely going to tell you to go with the Les Paul Special Double Cut. It's more versatile, it stays in tune better than the Maestro Vibrola, and honestly, this was crazy, but this guitar is a thicker slab of mahogany, and my particular guitar weighed quite a bit less than the SG that I played. I was far more impressed with the 1960 Les Paul Special Double Cut than I was the SG. Just putting it out there. And I'll remind you, if you want to go up a little bit more in price, you can get a true Gibson, either that SG or Les Paul Special. If you're buying any of that gear, click to buy gear using my link or scan this QR code. Help yourself, help me out. It's a win-win, right? I love that here on Play and Trade Guitars. Thanks for hanging out with me. I am super blown away by the 1960 Les Paul Special Double Cut. I definitely recommend it. Watch the other reviews on this new Epiphone Inspired by Gibson Custom series on the channel. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Talk to you in the comments and keep playing.